Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Hello, once again. It will be the continuity of my last lecture, part 1, The Ant and the Grasshopper. Now, in my last lecture, part 1, I've taken the original fable and I talked something about the present story, The Ant and the Grasshopper. Now, today I'm going to take this story, summary, because the whole story, it requires a lot of time as such. So I'll be taking summary. Definitely we are going to talk about the theme of the story, the title of the story, the characters of the story, the question answers, and of course we are going to start with the summary of the story. Now, as I told before, the ant and the grasshopper both are the adjectives, and one adjective means ant means hard-working creature, grasshopper means fun and frolic, enjoyment, indolence. But here, and we have the poetic justice for the ant and the grasshopper. The old fable says that ant means whatever hard work you have done, tomorrow you are going to get paid off. And grasshopper means that today you are enjoying and relishing and fun and frolic, and tomorrow you have to suffer. Now this is the bottom line, or this is the moral of the story. But as far as the present scenario is concerned, we are living in 21st century. Okay, and this story had been written some 40-50 years back as such. But this story suggests that that hard-working person was not paid off as he ought to have, as according to the expectation of George. And second, Tom, even though he relished he relished his life, and he left his wife and children and whatnot. But finally, we thought that that at the end he will be suffering, and even George thought that he will be suffering. But that thing did not transpire. On the contrary, he got a big fortune, he got a big money, he got a big bungalow, and life was certain. So every time the author want to say, Somerset Maugham want to say that that poetic justice always does not take place, and there are certain exceptions, and the youngsters should take it as an exception. If they take it as a rule, then of course they will become grasshopper in their college days, and they think that that as what has happened to Tom, probably it may happen to us tomorrow. But exceptions are, of course, the word exception does not it itself suggests that very few things happen in exceptions. Okay, so today I'm going to take summary. I'm going to start with the summary, and of course in the proceeding, the characters and the other things I'm going to take place as such. Now, talking about the summary, two characters, as I told before, that Tom and George, both are brother, but poles apart, and both the brothers are different in characters, in thinking, in their lifestyles, and all their misdemeanors. Now, Tom and George are two Ramsay brothers. Tom, the younger, is the black sheep of the family, while George, the elder, is a credit to them. Now, black sheep, this is a very important term. In every family, we see that it happens that a black sheep happens. Presently, we are having one or two child, but in the yester generations, out of 4 or 5, there was a one black sheep overall in the families, in every families. So here, George was an asset. Asset means hardworking, taking care of the family, thinking of his brother, having all the positive attitude, diligent, industrious, and having a noble thoughts and all sort of things as such. What Maryada Purushottam Ram had. So here, George was a person every person liked, and Tom was persona non grata. Persona non grata means not acceptable. Okay, so here George was an asset and Tom was a liability. And liability means specifically if you are selfish, you are thinking about yourself only, and you are evading your responsibilities, then what happens? That you become liability towards yourself, towards your family and society at large. And on the contrary, what happened to George? That George was an asset because he was contributing towards his family and towards his society. In a nutshell, if I have to say that, that what are the definition of liability and asset? Asset means contribution towards society. That is an asset towards society, means your family and all sort of stuff comes. And liability means that you are absolutely parasite on the society, and instead of doing something good, you are having the evil tendency about it as such. And of course, Tom came in the second category. He was, of course, a liability. He came in the first category. He was a liability. Now what happens? That they are steady in contrast. Tom begins all right, but then goes wrong. Okay. Now what happens? That that when we see that as far as the beginning is concerned, in beginning, Tom was okay, fine. He was working. He was having a family, taking care of his family, and going for his whatever the work was concerned. Job was given to him. He was of course, in letter and spirit, he was following the incumbent. Incumbent means responsibilities. Now what happened? That as a day came when he went berserk. Berserk means he went mad. Oh, what is this life? Working and working. So what crept in his mind? That that he left his wife, he left the job, and his only one program was just how to enjoy, how to have fun and frolic in life, and how to have the relishment. This was his buzzword. This was his bottom line. And this was his just the thinking as such. Now, George was taken aback, astonished. He was surprised. Many a time in situation it happens. Kaise kyun ho raha hai? Why it happens? Why this thing is happening? So George was not able to come to the terms that one morning Tom is not in the office, Tom is not in the family, and he is leading his life according to his whims and fancies. Whims and fancies means એના મન પ્રમાણે એના દિમાગ પ્રમાણે વર્તતો હતો. He was just whatever thoughts came to in his mind, he was just working on that. So we call it as going berserk. Berserk એટલે વ્યક્તિ ગાંડો થઈ જાય. He gets mad. So here we see that that George was of course he has to take the care of Tom's family, and of course when Tom was not working, he was always borrowing the money, and the main person from whom he was borrowing the money was from his brother George. So you can help a person once or twice or three times as such when in need, specifically in need, and when you see that the other person is not working, the other person is not going to the office, how many times you are going to help him out as such? But I have to use one adjective for Tom, and that is he was a thick-skinned person, crocodile. You go into the zoo and you will be finding that that crocodile, thick-skinned, very thick-skinned. You throw stones at him, he will not react. You throw anything on him, it will not react as such. So here also, Tom, one motto, one goal, one purpose, hedonist and Epicurean. Now these are the two terms, hedonist and Epicurean, I talked in my first lecture. So here, George, there was an added responsibility of Tom on George. And George did not like the habits, attitudes and way of living of Tom. George tried to astonish, he tried to persuade, he tried to reconcile. He wanted that that Tom should heed to what George is saying, but it fell to the deaf ear. Fell to the deaf ear means that that he was not able to willing to listen anything as such. Now what happens? That for 20 years Tom begins all right, but he goes wrong. For 20 years he races and gambles and make loves and dances eats in the most expensive hotels and dresses beautifully. Now, this is something in extremity, that your sole purpose is life is to relinquish your family. Relinquish means to just get separated away from. And his main purpose was that from morning to evening, going to the parties, dressing expensive, and having a numbers of friends, and these friends were, he was always borrowing with those friends as such, and going to a very expensive hotels and eating and all sort and whatnot. So the definition of hedonist is what you think you try to do. And when a person like Tom, he was smart, he was handsome, but the main thing was that that whenever he used to get the money from, he used to get it out from whenever or wherever. The main thing was that that the people believed him. They had a credibility for the simple reason that they thought that he's a smart, handsome, and he will pay off the money. But they lend money for some time, but afterwards they just said specifically no to him as such. And what happened that that he did not again go to the same people for asking the money, because he knew that those people are not going to give money him for the second time as such. So the final resource for him was his brother, and his brother was giving money for a myriad reason. Myriad means for many reasons. First of all, respect for the society, respect for the family, and specifically having a little bit of soft corner for his brother. Soft corner means having the feeling for his brother. So he used to give the money to him as such. But there is a limit to everything, and this limit had come here. We are going to take it. What happens to it? Now what happened? That he lives by borrowing from friends or cheating and blackmailing his elder brother. In English we call it an idle mind is devil's workshop. When you don't have the work, when you don't have an occupation, then you will be having a the negativity of thought is going to get occurred. So here what happened, that blackmailing, cheating, frauds, everything came, and it came naturally to him. Where there is will, there is way, we call it as Jacha Tyara. Now his will was enjoyment. How to get the money? He was having the resources to get the money as such. Blackmailing, cheating, frauding, all sort of thing he get involved in, indulged in. Indulge means to get involvement in certain things as such. Limit to everything happens. Here also limit to him. A day came when money was exhausted. It was completed. Now what to do? He was hatching the conspiracy. Hatching the conspiracy means Shadyantra Banao. Hatching the conspiracy. He was hatching the conspiracies. And most of the time, his conspiracy, he used to succeed in his conspiracies as such. Honest people are not going to conspire. And if they conspire, they are not going to win, for the simple reason that they will not be having a conviction. But as far as this person was concerned, he was absolutely having the conviction that I am going to make out the money. I can specifically eke out the money from these people. Eke out એટલે પૈસા કઢાવા. કેવી રીતે પૈસા કઢાવા? Eke out. He used to eke out the money where he had the conviction. Conviction એટલે આપણને ખબર પડવી જોઈએ કે અહીંયાથી પૈસા મળી શકે. He used to have that conviction. And this is the reason that that he did not wanted to work. When it has been said that that when you do not have the habit to work and you get easy money એટલે પૈસા કમાયા વગર મળતા, then you are not going to work out for this thing. We have seen the cases of beggars. They used to get easy money. From morning to evening, they used to get 200 rupees, 150 to 200 rupees. Now, without working, if they can get this money, why they should work? You have to only become crocodile skinned, hard skinned people, not to work. So here he has become a hard skinned person. And he was absolutely from various resources he used to get the money. Now, when he was exhausted, when he was running short of ideas and his money was exhausted, what he was doing? He was making his brother targeted. And why his brother was giving? As I told before, that that he was working in small places where the honor of the family is at stake. આપણા ઘરનો વ્યક્તિ કોઈ બહાર જઈને કામ કરતો હોય, if he is working in small places, then our respect and honor is at stake. So seeing that, that his brother was helping, don't go to the small places, don't go to the dirty places, don't go to the bad places, ignominious. बदनाम जगह पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं. So what he told that, no, I will be going and I will be working. So his brother gave him money and told that you don't go to the, because my reputation is soiled. Soiled એટલે ખરાબ થવી. મારી જે ઇમેજ છે, my image is soiled. મારી ઇમેજ આમાં ખરાબ થાય છે. And this is the thing that, that what I am not able to digest, I am not able to reconcile. Reconcile એટલે આપણે adjust ના કરી શકીએ. We are not able to adjust certain things as such. Now what transpired? That he lives by borrowing from friends or cheating or blackmailing his elder brother. George, on the other hand, leads a blameless industrial life and look forward to retiring on a small income. Complacency, satisfaction, these are the bottom line of happiness. And in that way, George was very happy. And seeing the Tom's life, he thought that, that very important thing is I should leave this place and I should go to some rural place. He was having a house at some countryside. Countryside એટલે ગામડાને આપણે countryside કહીએ છીએ. He was having a house in the countryside. So he thought that, that as far as his retirement income is concerned, provident fund and gratuities and the other whatever the money he is going to get, he is going to invest that money in that countryside house and he is going to marry his 3 daughters. He was having 3 daughters. So he was taking care of them. But the bottom line, the main line was that, that he was absolutely in contradiction to his brother. In contradiction એટલે સાવ બંનેના પાત્રો સાવ જુદા હતા. They were absolutely poles apart. એકદમ જુદા પાત્રો. So very important thing is that, that he had a contented life. And this contented life, he did not want to get interrupted as such. So he thought that one day, I will be taking a voluntary retirement. Voluntary એટલે સ્વૈચ્છિક નિવૃત્તિ. And taking that voluntary retirement, I will be going to my countryside place and I will be having my own life. I will be having enjoyment and I will specifically take care of my health and indulging in some spiritual activities as such. Now what happened? Many times, as I told you, that God proposes and man proposes and God disposes. Man proposes એટલે જે માણસ ધારે છે, ઈચ્છે છે, એ થતું નથી. God disposes. So here what happened, we are going to see that. Now he thinks that Tom would come to trouble when no more young and all charms are lost. There is a limit to the luxuries and pleasures of life. You are involved in the pleasure, but there is an end to the pleasure. Now about Tom, I am talking in context of Tom. Now the thinking of George was that, that he should be exhausted of his resources. એના જે પૈસા વિસા છે બધા ખલાસ થઈ જાય. એટલા માટે, because when he will not be having the money, how he is going to get indulge in evil things? When you don't have the money, તમે cheating પણ એક વાર કરો, 5 વાર કરો, 7 વાર કરો. You blackmailing, you do once or twice or thrice but a day comes when you are exposed. બહાર પડી જાઓ તમે, ઉઘાડા પડી જાઓ તમે. You get exposed. So here George thought that, a day will come when his cheatings, blackmailings and all sort of things are going to get exposed. He will be running short of money. પૈસાની ખોટ હોય. When he will be running short of money, then absolutely he may come to a virtuous life. કે એની જિંદગી વ્યવસ્થિત ક્યાં ગોઠવાય. He may be living a So George was waiting for a D-Day. D-Day એટલે doomsday. અને doomsday એટલે એ દિવસ, જે દિવસ કુદરત તમારું ન્યાય કરતું હોય. The God is taking decision on your behalf. That is, we call it as a D-Day, doomsday. So George was absolutely waiting for the D-Day to come. And he was waiting for that. And he was thinking that I am an ant. This, whatever the conservation, whatever the money preservation I have made, this will help me tomorrow. But what will happen to the grasshopper? Grasshopper means Tom. What will happen to Tom? So he was thinking that way. And he was waiting, he was looking forward to, he was waiting anxiously for that day to happen. And he was he was thinking for the simple reason that, that he should live not that evil or that, that ignominious life. Ignominious એટલે ખરાબ. પણ પૈસા ના હોય તો વ્યવસ્થિત વ્યક્તિ જીવે. That was the thought by the George. But that thing happens or not, we are going to see it out. Now, important thing is that he thinks that Tom would come to trouble when there is no money. He waits for that moment of evil satisfaction, but Tom marries a rich woman old enough to be his mother. She dies leaving a fabulous fortune. This makes the elder brother feel cheated by the providence. Lifeline. In life, you used to get a lifeline. And that lifeline can alter your life. Alter, changes it life. જિંદગીની અંદર એવી કઈ લાઈફલાઈન આવી જાય છે. A beggar gets a lottery. A person who is suffering from some disease gets some ailment, some medicines. A lifeline આવી જાય છે. So, of course, as far as this lifeline is concerned, Tom got that lifeline. And what was that lifeline? The lifeline was that he got married to elderly woman. Elderly woman means the age of his mother. Very, very strange. Marriage is not for the love, for the affection, for the relationship, but marriage is for the money. And lady had a windfall. Windfall એટલે ઘણા બધા પૈસા હોય ને આપણે windfall કહીએ છીએ. She was having a big fortune. Tom was strategist. Strategist એટલે જે strategy બનાવતો હોય, planning કરતો હોય. Tom planning કર્યું હતું. He made a plan. And what was the plan? This is a lady. She requires a man. Why shouldn't I propose? He proposed. પ્રસ્તાવ મૂક્યો. And the lady was infatuated by Tom, the lifestyle of Tom. Infatuated, mad, crazy about Tom. And Tom did not know that this lady is going to, Tom knew that this lady is not going to get survived. એ survive થવાની નથી, બચવાની નથી. તમે 36 ના હો તો તમે 65 yearsની લેડીને તમે મેરેજ કરો તમે. He knew that this lady is not, but the marriage was the marriage of convenience. This is a very good phrase. Marriage of convenience. Marriage of convenience means આપણા સુવિધા માટે જે કામ કરતા હોઈએ એને આપણે marriage of convenience કહીએ છીએ આપણે. And Tom had that marriage of convenience. What he expected, it happened. She died. And her fortune, fortune એટલે પૈસા, her fortune he got in deed, in will. Will એટલે કે મર્યા પછી વાઇફ મરી જાય તો એ વિલ બનાવી જાય કે ભાઈ મારા મર્યા પછી આફ્ટર માય ડેથ this money should be given to my husband. અથવા ડિફોલ્ટ પણ થઈ જાય કે ડિફોલ્ટ એટલે જાતે જાત પણ થઈ જાય છે. ડિફોલ્ટ જાતે જ. So this person became millionaire, કરોડપતિ, લખપતિ. અને of course, when George came to know about this thing, he was crestfallen. Crestfallen એટલે એના પગ નીચેથી જમીન નીકળી જાય છે. He was absolutely crestfallen. Crestfallen because living in comparisons. अब दुख कब होता है? When you are unhappy, when you are unsatisfied, when you think that he is having this much and I am not having, and he has not worked and he has got this much, and I have worked and I am not having anything, or I am having very less. Comparison skills. Students understand this thing. It absolutely comparison skills. Whatever the ways and means you are having, if you can live in your resources, success, happiness and satisfaction will definitely come. On the contrary, George thought something, it happened something. He thought that, that my hard work and my industriousness એટલે મહેનતુપણું. This is going to help me out in my life. And Tom is going to suffer. He is going to absolutely have the problems in life. But it is the other way round. It is absolutely other way round. And this is the reason that that George was totally disappointed and desperated. He was absolutely disappointed. Now what happens next? Mom has rewritten Le Fontaine's fable, reversing its original moral. Original moral, as I told you before, that what was the original moral? The original moral is Grasshopper going from house to house to get the food. Because he has danced in spring, he did not save for the winter. This was La Fontaine's, which from the Aesop fables it comes. Okay, so this is a reversing thing. And finally, what happens that Grasshopper, he did not get and he had the vision that at next spring I will work hard and save for winter. So what happened here, that he not only contradicts the fable but also laughs it. He says contradiction and laughs it. He said that that life is not that that it goes in a straight line. The people who have worked very hard, they too have to suffer some, we have some, earthquakes and many natural calamities we are having. In this natural calamities on the earthquake, whatever you are earned, it may go to the dogs. એટલે બરબાદ થઈ જાય બધું. It may go to the dogs. We see that that millionaire people earning throughout the life and they have died in some accident. Many of the cases I've seen, earned a lot of money, and now they think it is an appropriate time for spending the money. Other way around thing happens. So this is one of the sentences I am repeating again and again, and get in the mind. Man proposes and God disposes. જેમ માણસ વિચારે છે એવું થતું નથી. And here also, what happened? That Somerset mom has made the mockery of this story. The ant and the grasshopper. We are not living in the ancient times where the story was made. We are living in 21st century. And 21st century means that forget about the honesty, forget about the principles. Are you smart enough to work upon? Smart enough means manipulation. ઘણીવાર પૈસા કેવી રીતે ખોટી રીતે કમાવા એમાં પણ ટેલેન્ટ જોઈએ. You require the talent in that also. And many people have the knack of it. Knack એટલે એ લોકોમાં કળા હોય છે. Many people are having the knack of it. And this thing happens. And here we find that Tom is a character which it happens as such. And what happened? That Tom's philosophy of spending, his trick to get money from his elder brother, his final stroke of fortune, and George's reaction to it all makes it laugh. બરાબર છે? Tom spending, even though he used to get the money, George earning, and even though he's getting desperate. These are all the ironical and paradoxical things as such. And here we find in our story, this is the thing what happens as such. Now I'm going to take the short notes. First of all, I'll be going to take the first short note, the humor in the story. Okay, the fable, the ant and the grasshopper, the humor in the story. This story, it is of course, it teaches us a lesson. It gives us a humor. There is an underlining element in the story, and there we find the contradiction in the story. And of course, according to Somerset mom, he want to say that exception happens. Apvad thata hoy છે. And Tom is an absolute exception in it. So I'm going to take the story, the humor in the story, with the specifically comparing to the original story, the ant and the grasshopper. Now mom reverses this fable. In the fable, the ant is hardworking and the grasshopper is idle. The ant is rewarded and the grasshopper is punished. In the old story, what you seen? See, writing an appropriate answer, you make a comparison with the original story. When the students are writing the answer, this thing has to be taken into consideration. So what happened? That in the former story, what we have seen? In the former story, we have seen the grasshopper punished, and the ant was formerly he was working hard, but in winter he was dancing and prancing, and the other way around, in the spring the grasshopper was dancing and prancing, but in the winter he was crestfallen, he was unhappy, he was famished. Famished એટલે ભૂખ્યા રહેવું, એને આપણે famished કહીએ છીએ. He was absolutely famished. So this thing. Now what happened? Mom does not agree with this moral. As far as our author is concerned, he thinks that that fine, this story is okay, but does it happen? Yeah, I consider it happens. It happens, but the very important part is that that what Somerset Maugham has written, it may be an exception, but the things what I am saying, it happens as such. This is my conviction and this is my thinking as such. But talking from the author's point of view, he says that as far as this story is concerned, this story does not hold veracity, truth in the present time. That is very important thing. And this is the reason that I have been compelled to write the story. Compelled એટલા માટે મારી સ્ટોરી આ લખવી પડી. Because the main thing is that that in a materialistic life, ભૌતિકવાદ દુનિયાની અંદર, the things does not happen in the straight line as it has happened. So what happened in the story? The ant-like elder brother is defeated by the grasshopper-like younger brother. Ant-like brother. George is a ant-like brother. Tom is a grasshopper-like brother. And grasshopper brother is having the last laugh. Last laugh means having a final victory. We call it a final victory, last laugh. He toiled and moiled, George toiled and moiled, and he was able to gather this much. Tom had a fun and frolic, enjoyed his life through, and he had this much. So very important thing is that the George become unhappy in comparison, and this is the reason that Somerset Maugham thinks that that as far as the original story is concerned, I don't agree with it, and he mocks, laughs, and this is the reason that that he has been compelled to write the story as such. Now George leads a blameless, industrious life. He hopes to retire on a small income, but Tom is idle, good for nothing. He lives a parasite life. As I told before, that George, absolutely, he was a family man. In his 30 years of service, he had taken only a fortnight leave. 14 દિવસ ની રજા. And 9 to 6 was his time where he thought that work is worship. Work is worship. He loved his wife. He loved all the 3 daughters. But suddenly, Tom, he was going to the office. He said, "Oh, enough is enough. बहुत हो गया. Enough is enough. बहुत काम कर लिया. बहुत मेहनत कर ली." He may be inspired by some characters. He may be inspired by some movies. I thought that way. I think that way, as far as Tom's case is concerned. But here, George, he thought that, that what is destiny? What is providence? I have worked throughout my life, and what I got in nutshell. Nutshell એટલે થોડુંક મળે એને nutshell કહીએ છીએ. અને એનું થોડું કેમ દેખાય છે? Why he thinks that is small? Because, he is making a comparison with Tom. If Tom would have destroyed, then this much would have been this much. But as Tom has got this much, this much also is looking this much. That is the difference as such. And this is the reason that that George is burning from inside. Jealousy kills. It kills your mind. It kills your critical thinking. And this is what transpired with George. Now what happened? That Mom means to say that in the imperfect world, virtues are never rewarded. Virtues are never rewarded. You do something good, but you don't get in pay. And it is only the crooked people who used to make their destiny, who used to, even the providence is helping them. Even the destiny is helping them to the crooked or manipulated people. This is the thinking of Somerset Maugham. And this is the reason that he has written the story. Then mom seems to have rewritten the fable, reversing the moral, and that is the humor of the story. The humor of the story is that we are having some fixed ideas, and we work according to the fixed ideas. And when these fixed ideas does not takes place, then the problem begins. What is our fixed idea? Our fixed idea is the hard-working people are rewarded, and the grasshopper, the idle people, are always punished. This is our. But suddenly, if something other than this thing happens, then what happens? That we become desperate. क्या हमारे साथ क्या होता है? We have this question, always asking. कि मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है? मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होता है? Because you think you are honest. You think that that you should be justified. You think you are George. And when the things does not happen, then you are on your receiving end, and that is the paradox of life. That is the irony of life which happens as such. Now we are going to take one more short note, the Monte Carlo episode. Now what is about the Monte Carlo episode? The Monte Carlo episode is that that Tom was running short of money, and he tried his various resources, but he did not get that money. Now he wanted to go to Monte Carlo for staying few days and to lead a very easy life and very happy life as such. But he was not having the money. He tried various resources, but he did not get the money. So what he did? He hatched the conspiracy with his friend Cronshaw. He had the conspiracy. As I told before, that that he created a strategy, a षड्यंत्र बना. And what was the षड्यंत्र? We are going to have that षड्यंत्र. We are going to have that. So what is this episode? The Monte Carlo episode. The Monte Carlo episode is Tom changed himself into a scapegrace. He began living by borrowing from friends and cheating his brother. Once or twice, George fell for Tom's promise of improvement. Now, very important thing is that that George thought that that fine, my brother has come to me and he told that that he is going to make improvement in his life, so I should help him out as such. And why not to give a chance to some person? And blood is thicker than water. The relationship of brothers, very important. So he told that that yeah, fine, you require money. I know that you have left your office. I know you have left your wife. In spite of, you promised me that you are going to get improved. So I will give you money. Take this money. But show me the performance. Show me the improvement. Show me the result. Oh brother, Tom said, yeah, I will do it. Give me the money now. So George gave some money to him. But that money was wasted away, spent away. Lavished એટલે વાપરી કાઢવા. So what happened that when George came to know that as far as the money was given, he has just enjoyed his life with that money. So he had become a stubborn એટલે મક્કમ તો હવે આવે તો નહીં આપો. Let him come. I will not give him the money. Enough is enough. 2 વાર આપ્યા 3 વાર. He told me that he is going to give me the promise that he is going to get improved. But now, when he comes to me, I am not going to give him the money as such. So what happened? That when the doors were closed for Tom that he is not going to get money, he created a strategy. He hatched the conspiracy. And he had a friend named Cronshaw. And with him, he hatched the conspiracy. What is the conspiracy? We are going to see as such. But he gave him a good amount so that he might make a fresh start. But Tom bought a motor car and a jewelry with those amount. You say that, oh, I want the money for health. I want the money for a house, I want the money for my needs. And the other day you come to know that as far as that money is concerned, you've taken a jewelry, you've taken a motor car. So you will become agitated. You will become angry on the person. And the same thing happened with George. I have given the money for your need. I have given you money to start a new business. And when Tom bought jewelry, he bought motor car and all sort of stuff. George was angry and he told, this is not the reason I have gave you the money. I have given you the money for some other reasons. And George was exasperated. Crazy. Let him come now. I will not give him the money. Let him come. But the crooked people have the ideas. The cunning people have the, of course, some or the other strategies to work upon. Now this strategy has worked. So what happened? So George realized that he had never settled down and washed his hands off him. He had taken off his responsibility. Washed off the hands. Washed off the hands એટલે કે તારા મારા જોડે કઈ સંબંધ નહીં હોય. Washed off the hands. Nothing doing now. What may come? What may come એટલે ગમે તે થાય. You have hoodwinked me. Two-timed me. Two-time એટલે મૂર્ખ બનાવ. Hoodwink. Hoodwink. Hoodwink છેતરપિંડી કરવી. You have hoodwinked me. You have two-timed me. Let the opportunity come and you come to me next time and see how I make you humiliated. કે તારું કેવી રીતે હું insult કરું છું. How you make humiliated. You see too that how the. So what happened that Tom came to know that now he is not having the pretexts or excuses. Pretexts and excuses. उसके पास कोई बहाना नहीं था. He did not had any of the excuses so that he can ask the money or he can borrow the money again as such. So suddenly an idea, a new idea struck in his mind. And what was that idea? When George stopped giving him money, Tom took to blackmailing him. When that was no more possible, he tried another trick. He and his accomplice Cronshaw successfully carried it out. Blackmailing કરવા લાગ્યો. And blackmailing, what was the blackmailing? Blackmailing was, I will do small chores. Small chores એટલે નાના નાના કામ કરી જેમાં સમાજની ઇજ્જત જશે, પરિવારની ઇજ્જત જશે. Blackmailing. If you don't give the money, tomorrow on the street, I will become a hawker. ફેરિયાવાળો બની જઈશ. I will become a hawker. I will do small chores. ચોર એટલે કામ. CHORES. Chores. I will do small chores. So George, yeah, it's a matter of family here. I should do something about it. But that door was also exhausted. એ વાર્તા પણ પતી ગયા. હવે એના માટે આવે તો પણ નથી આપવાના. He comes for this reason, then also I am not going. So he tried blackmailing. I will do this work. You do whatever you want to do. George told him, washed off his hand. છાપામાં કહ્યું, આ મારું ભાઈ છે, એના જોડે મારે કંઈ લેવા દેવા નથી. I don't have anything to do with him as such. So the people who are living in luxuries, if they get short of money, what happens? That ideas are germinated in the minds. Ideas are like the seed. Mind is like the land. And the ideas are germinated out of it. And a new idea came. And the idea was that making a conspiracy with a friend. Cronshaw. He went to George and he said, your brother has taken the money from me. And if your brother is not going to return me the money in a stipulated time, stipulated મર્યાદિત સમયમાં જો મને પૈસા ના આપે, if he does not return me the money in a stipulated time, I will take him to the court. He has given me the check. And I will take him to the court. Mind you. And this is not a lip service. કહેવા માટે નથી આ. પણ હું એને I will be definitely taking him to the court. So he was scared. George was scared. He was frightened that something serious is going on. So what he did? He gave the money for his respect, family's respect. But when George came to know that Cronshaw and Tom had conspired કે બંનેની મિલીભગત છે. Cronshaw was sent by Tom that go to my brother and said that I given him money and the money is not returned, then Cronshaw will take Tom to the court. So this message was given to Cronshaw to George. So when George gave him the money, okay fine, last time I am giving the money, put it off. So what happened that with this money what Cronshaw got, and he told that now I am not doing a case. Cronshaw and Tom both went away to Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is a place in Italy for fun and frolic, for enjoying. And George came to know, when he came to know, he was absolutely desperate. That asking the money so that I can save his life. Tom's life I can save. This is the reason I have given the money to Cronshaw. But on the contrary, he has stooped so low. આટલા નીચે પડી ગયો છે કે ટોમે ક્રોન્શો સાથે કોન્સ્પિરેસી અને માણસને મોકલ્યો અને પૈસા લીધા. And they both went into one of the islands, Monte Carlo, where they were enjoying their life as such. So, this was something irreconcilable and something unadjustable, undigestible to George. And when such type of incidents happens, then you absolutely become ruined. You absolutely ruined in a sense that that you are absolutely exasperated that that what type of person is there in my family who is out and out a black sheep. So what happened that he was very angry when he came to know that they have gone together to Monte Carlo and spent a month there with that money. એ પૈસા સાથે both the people were enjoying their life as such. Now last, I'm going to talk about the title. I'm having only 2-3 minutes. I'll be going a little fast. Mom has used the title La Fontaine's Fable, but he has written the fable reversing the original story. Title, short note. This short note title is very important. So he has written the story, but as far as the story is concerned, he has reversed. What has been in the original story, it has been reversed. Here the elder brother, like the ant, leads a blameless, industrious life and look forward to retiring on a small income, but the younger brother, who like the grasshopper, mom means them to say that in an imperfect world, the things are not going to happen. And finally we see that as far as the title is concerned, it is appropriate. Title is inappropriate. Why title is inappropriate? Because what we have come to know and what we are having at present, there is a world of difference between it. In the original story, the ant, of course, he got a poetic justice. But as far as here we see that that George has not got the poetic justice and he has to suffer. So as far as this title is concerned, in a present century, in the present world, this title may happen. It may be an exception. But this type of title, Ant and the Grasshopper, by taking this story, we are absolutely making a mockery of the fable about the old story. And when we see such type of experiences in our society, that certain people, even though he is insipid or he is stupid or he is not up to the mark and has got the rewards, then we think that how this thing has happened. And this is the thing that that what Providence has done to Tom. In Hindi we call it as that that Allah meherban to gadha pehlwan. And here the providence, Allah means the providence. The providence was absolutely showering everything on him. And this is the reason that that because of this thing he became a wealthy person, and the George was absolutely on the receiving end, and he thought that that the whole his life has been ruined for the simple reason that after earning After working so hard, he has just got the peanuts, and as far as my brother is concerned, by doing nothing, he is one of the richest person of that area. So this is the story. Thank you for giving me an opportunity, and looking forward to have this many more sessions with you. Thanking you very much.
Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.